How to create IKs for your bones and socks. I'm going to start with my socks. You can also do it for control arms, which I'll show you in a minute. After you get your sock figure out where you want it, you want to rotate it back to where it was. I got mine linked up. See, all three. If you just double click the first link, it'll show you what's linked to it. So I'm going to rotate mine back to straight so I can attach the bones. I use local because it works with the actual pivot of the object view. If you have it on view, it just works with the XYZ of the viewport. Whatever works for you, I like using local. Let me hide this out. Now I got to create bones. I got them created, which I'll show you in a minute. I'm going to unlink that for now. No, I'm going to I'll leave it linked. When you create a bone, normally this is at 50-50 and it's too big. I make them like this, like it, straight up and down. So after I make it, right click here to open this up if you want, or you can use it down below, down here. Just get this to 0, put it back to 0, so make sure this is in the right orientation, XYZ, and then align it to your sock. You need 2 on the top, make sure XYZ and pivot point is selected. Just clone that, bone 2, and then I change it so I can distinguish which one is which, and then make another one, bone 3. Just hold down shift while you drag, and then attach that, align that to the bottom pivot. You want to put them to the pivot where you're where you want your spring shock to pivot on both ends. You want to make sure you got them set like this here, 5-5. Now, before you skin it, you want to rotate it back into place, because if you don't, when your mod kit gets damaged, your sock will move back in the straight up and down position and look funny. Example of that, you can see the rake read that I did. One of the first things I did, I didn't know that, and I realized that was a problem. So before you skin it, you want to put it back in position. Linking isn't important right now. I'm just linking them to here so I can rotate them. I use F4 so I can see. So you see outlines, so when you link it, you drag it over, and then the one that links is highlighted. Get out of that. I think I went this way at 20, 15. Oops. I need local. Nope, wrong one. Yeah, it's in the right spot. Okay. Before I skin it, I don't link everything, because when you add your bones, it's just easier for me. So now I want to take that. Also, before I skin it, I go to display and you hit object color down right here, because it's easier to see when you mess with your after you attach the skin. So I'm going to attach the bottom right away. Now add a skin, add my bones. Oh wait, you know what? Well, that's okay for now. Actually, you know what? Let me unrotate this, because I just made the bones to show you how I did it. I already have mine set up. Unhide all. Rotate on. That's correct, right? Okay. Unlink it. Attach that again. Go back to object mode. Now, I'm going to hide the spring, get that out of the way. Add a skin, add the bones. Oh yeah, what I name mine is, and the name of my socket up here is a sock RR, right rear, so I name the bones. Same thing, bone, sock, right rear, 1, 2, and 3. But I only use 2 and 3 for the skins. So you select the bones, and then I'm going to edit the vertices to set the weights. I unselect these here, so when if I select something, I don't select the cage on accident. You can also go in the display tab and uncheck show colored vertices if you don't like that, or show colored faces, whatever you like. I like keeping colored face on, and that's the reason for going object color, so you can see the color in here. It's a little easier. So first what I do, I select them all. I select them all, go to the weight table. I got to make a shortcut, but weight table's down here in case you don't have it. Select all. I weight it all to one bone, to the second bone, bone 2. But what I do, see right here, some are weighted to one bone, some to the other. So you just select the spot, empty spot, hit 1, and then go back to bone 2, hit 1, and everything's weighted to bone 2. Now I go down here, I want to weight this to bone 3. I'll go back to my weight table. Now I want to select the vertices, select all, and then right click here and hit 1. It's all weighted to bone 3. So, see right there. Now that's what's going to move when it's animated. Also, if you're checking this, if it's in view mode, say you're like this here, and you want to check to see, it's going to go goofy because it's not with the pivot of the object. So local is the pivot of the object. So when you want to check it, you can see it how it works correctly. That's another advantage of using local. Okay, unhide my spring. Do the same thing for my spring. Hit the skin. Add the bones. I always select the bottom one first because it puts it in a proper spot. Hit the weight tool. See, bone 2, bone 3. 3 is the bottom. If you select 2 and then 3, it'll be different. It'll be backwards. I mean, you can always change it if you want, but just so you know, that's like that. Hit end caps, set weight, close. And now that's good. Now the bone and the sock both work proper. Okay, now that that's done, you need to set the IKs. Well, first you got to link it. You got to take bone 3 and the spring and the sock and link it to bone 2. Again, I select F4 to show edge mode, because then it'll highlight the one that's linked. See how it highlights? And then take 2 and link that to 1. And then this here, bone 1, you'll have to link it to your main bone. I'll show you that in a little bit. Now, how to set this up on the AK is a little confusing. Confuses me as well sometimes. So, open this up. Here's the code for it. If you're using this here, if you see, I can switch back to either one. You don't know how to do it, you go to View and always on top. So now, this is the code for the IK right here. Since there's 2 bones on top now. Right here, the first one is bone 1. This gets linked to the chassis bone, the bone chassis. That's the main frame, the parent frame rather. Bone 2 is the one that's skinned to the sock and bone, but that's linked to bone 1. So your parent bone would be bone 1 here. Bone 3 is the bottom bone, which has the slider on it to make it work up and down. That gets attached to frame. It gets attached to the axle bone. So you put your axle bone here. Now for the pivots, this the confusing part. The bottom one's easy because that's on the Y. Since I make models with the Z up, I don't have to turn on the side like some models do. I hate that. I can't get used to it. You got to switch them. So see right here, the Spintires switches the X and the Y and the Z. So whatever the Z, you want to make a Y. That's the confusing part. So this here, oh, I gotta link that to show. This here is the Z-axis, which is actually the Y in Spintires. So right here on the bottom is your slider your local axis. One in the middle is your Y-axis, and which is the Z in Max. That's a good way to say it. The Y in Spintires is Z in Max, or just XZY. So on here, I select bone 2, and I want mine to rotate this way. Oops. Oh, I gotta keep that on link still. Oh, that's on link still. Let me see if when I rotated. Yeah, that's what I was unlinked. I want mine to rotate this way here, bone 2, and that is. Wait, I found the better way to show you. That is right. I believe that's on the X. Let me see. When I rotate it like that, yeah. See the spinner on the bottom. The Y is moving. Right here. So, God bless it, my mouse messed up. Where's it at now? So that's bone 2. In Max, excuse me, in Max, if it's the Y, you want to put it on the Z. So that would be this one. Now, bone 1 is to give it the other axis. So I want it to rotate this way. You need it to rotate this way, which is the X. If you look down on the bottom down here, that moves when you rotate it. So that's the X axis. So then you put 1 right here. Whichever axis you want it to rotate on, you put a 1. So I got X, Z, and Y. And that's how it should be for this to work correctly. If you got it set up like this. Again, it's kind of confusing. I confuse myself. But I just want to tell you, you don't want your shock to rotate this way. It doesn't work. You want it to rotate sideways this way here. Because I guess from when the axle twists or rotates, whatever it does, it needs that motion. So just so you know. Again, I like using these here, these spinners down here to tell, because you know which axis it's on better instead of looking at this unless you know the colors. I always get confused because I'm colorblind. So that's that. Same thing goes basically for your let me close that out, for the control arms. Oops, wrong one. 3 bones, 1, 2, 3, and you skin it basically like a shock. And I'll do that for you right now to show you. Get that out of there. See, do I got these linked? No, I'm going to got them linked. So I got to link them together. Put them in position. F4. Link it. Rotate it. I got to remember which way I rotated. Same thing though. You need to have this straight so you can set your bones whichever way, straight up and down, however you do it. Doesn't matter. Just whatever works for you. Darn it, I don't remember which way I did it. I gotta watch. See, yeah, I went this way. 20. I believe it was, oops, wrong way. No, wrong one, I did it wrong. I think I go with this first. 15. 15 and then down, yeah, that's how I got mine now. Okay, again, you gotta you want to put it in position before you skin it, so that's why I'm doing that. Unlink it. Now, skin it, add your bone, same way, bone 2 and 3. Add vertices, get rid of that, select them all, weight table, select all, select there, 1, and then 1. Again, that's the best way I do it. If people use this, I don't know, I think it's this one, wait till there. I don't like it. I like the weight table because I can see everything, all the vertices, how they're checked. So I put in the one bone first, select these here, make sure they're all selected. Yep, weight table, select the vertices, select all, 1, the bone 3. So now, when you look at it, you go like this, and it's correct. Like I said, it's basically the same as a shock. You just got to figure out your axes. Let me move this over here. Bring this. Oops. What did I do? Bring this here. So we'll work at the bottom first. So you go down here. This is this one here. The slider, the same way. It needs the did I link them together? Darn it. Let me see if I link them together. No, good. I'll link them after. The slider though, you want to go this way, so that would be the x-axis. Again, put it in local so you see, because if you got it in view, you ain't going to see your axis. Put it on local, and it's going to slide on the x-axis, just like a shock. So that you put on the first one. Again, x. In Max it's xzy, and in Spintires it's xyz. So just think of that, xzy. Now this one here, I'm going to use bone 2, but I'm going to have to link them right now to show you that. So take the bone 3 and the object and link it to bone 2, and then bone 2 to bone 1. I hope I'm not confusing you. It's kind of confusing sometimes. So this one here, I want to rotate this way here first with bone 2. I got bone 1 selected, but I'm doing that because I have I have them linked together, so I can do that too. I got bone 2 selected. So bone 2, when you rotate it, look down here to see what spinner turns. Right now it's the Y. So I select the end and put a 1 there. And normally the Y is here again because it's Max, and I use a Z up. You select this, the Z. Now this one here, I want it bone 1. Oh yeah, and it's set up the same as a shock. It's bone 1, select attached to the chassis frame. Bone 2 is attached to bone 1, and then bone 3. Even though it's linked to bone 2, you attach the frame goes to the axle. That's what I didn't tell you before. That's the way Pavel had it set up. It does work the other way. I had it the other way. If you did link the bone 3 to the axle, I don't know why. I didn't notice any problems, but this is the way Pavel does it, so I switched to there. Oh yeah, did I do that already? Yeah. You want to check this. You want your control arm to go this way, not this way. So again, when you rotate it, look down here at the spinners and see which ones rotates. By looking at the Z, so which would be the Y in this here. So I put a 1 right there. It'll be confusing at first till you understand, till you do a couple. And I'll give you this here and the mod to show you. and then you guys will have something to reference. And that's basically how I set that up. I'm going to take a break here and pause this because I got to go wash them and get back. I'll be right back. Okay, I'm back. Sorry, I got paused because I've done like 3 or 4 of these and messed up and had to start over, so I did like that. What I didn't show you is, in here, this is in the automatic IK section, which is under the game data. You can basically put it anywhere, but if you use Notepad++, whatever it is, I don't normally use it. I'm just using this because most people like it and use this. In the plugins, there's Spintires plugins. If there's a format XML, if you do that, see, I like it like this here, nice and clean. But if you hit this format XML, see, it changes it. So I'm just leaving it like that. I mean, you can do what you want. And when you use that, it puts the IKs at the bottom. I had mine up higher, closer to where I need it. I'll show you that in a little bit. But just so you know that this will change if you do use that plugin. Again, this is an automatic IK section. It really doesn't matter where it's at, just as long, I believe it's underneath the physical model, I think, or I don't know if it can be up here. I don't know if I ever tried, but when I hit this here format XML, that's where it went, and I just copied paste what I had, and I just formatted the rest. Now for the new part that I just learned. As you all know, the people that have used this before know that the bottoms don't hold good. Let me go back to here, put that back on, this for me. And oh, I forgot to show you this too. Oh, wait a minute, let me go back here. Darn, sell that stuff. If you want a fancier control arm, say you want something like this, you can use these now with an IK. The same way, you set them up the same way as a shock. You just got to find a point where you want it to slide. So if you've seen how I did it, I select one end. Well, here, and I'll run this through. I got to rotate it again. Darn, I got to remember how that guy did it again. Darn it. Hang on a second. I think I went this way. Yeah, 15. And then 20 down, mix it in local. Yeah. Okay. Get rid of this. Bring this up, hide that. Yeah, skin. Add the bones. Oops, see, now they're linked, so it's sort of 2, 3. And then when you skin it, I'm just gonna do the whole thing again because it works for me. Select 1, and then now, like I said, what you want to find a place where well, I forget what that's called. Hide everything else. You want to find a place that'll slide, like the bottom of the bone does. It doesn't slide much, but it will deform a little bit. I just go here and then select these and then set these to bone 3. Select all. Let me select the vertices and set that to 3. So when it moves, this here part will slide a little bit and these here will shrink. I don't know, however you got, whatever you make, you just got to make sure you got a place that can slide. So you'll see, like I said, you'll see a little deformation, but it won't be much. It looks pretty good. I'll show you this mod in the game when I'm done here. I did them both ways. You'll see when I get there. But I want to show you this. Like I said, as we all know, let me put that back up. As we all know, the socks don't. Oh, also what I want to tell you is this doesn't have to be set up this way. You can start here, and instead of attaching this to the chassis, you can attach this to the bone, to the axle bone, and then use this here attached to the frame to the chassis bone, and then you'll have two bones here and one bone there. Same with the shocks. You can do it the same way. You can switch it up. I did that on this side here to show you that it can be done, and I'll show you why when I put it in game. This here turns. Again, I'll show you when I'm putting it in game. I don't want to explain it right now. But like I said, as someone that's done this before knows that the bottoms don't hold good. So V12 came up with a good solution, and I could never understand it at first. I really didn't study it much because I wasn't doing none. But I watched how Bregel done things because he's real good, and it's not their fucking key or killer. So I followed his lead and did what he did. What am I missing here? A sock. So my bone. What you need are CDTs and an extra bone. Actually, let me get rid of all the rest of these because I don't fucking need it. I got an axle bone, and then I got a control arm bone. I don't want to get too much in detail, so I don't have to explain a lot, so I don't have to mess this up again. But basically, this is what you need. Again, I make them different so I can see which one's different. And what I did was I took the control arm bone and put it exactly, lined it exactly with the axle bone. And of course, the axle bone will be exact center inside of your axle. And then what I did, I created a box. This is just a box. You know, I can still adjust it. I went all the way to the ends of the axle. I did try to make them smaller, but they don't work for some. The thing will wig out, so you have to have it. It doesn't necessarily have to be 8 by 8 like I got it here. I don't know. I didn't try it any other, but I tried it real small. You know, like I had it like I think 2 by 2 by 2 or something like that. Let me put it back out. I'll just tell you. And then it didn't work. It wigged out. So it has to be big. It has to be the size of the axle, it seems. But what I was saying is, I made it. Let me get rid of the frame here. I made. Oh, this is my other one. Let me hide that one. For the control arm CDT, I just created a bone. I'm in a box this way here. Oops, it's not in there. Created a box like this, and this, and just kept the axis where it was in the middle, and attached it to the to the control arm bone. For the other one, for the axle bone, I did the same thing, but I put it in the center, and just so it was lower, because Bregel has Bregel has this one a little higher. Here, let me show you. I don't have that open right now. Well, actually, let me do that. Let's see what I'm talking about. So you know where I got this from, Land Cruiser. I think that's the one. Nope. Yeah. Let me use this one because I changed the texture. Oh, it might be probably the same texture. Oh, I just changed texture so I can view it better. But if you see right here, here's the CDTs he created. It's hard to see, but you can. There's a little gap. I mean, he's got it overlapping a little bit right here. Maybe you can see right here or right here. But that's how he had them, so that's what I went with. And that's originally what I did. Which one is that? Yeah, that's originally what I did. I just went like that and like that, so they overlapped a little bit. But yesterday I found out something else, which is cool. First, for those that want to know, if you don't care, what I did, I found out I took off the collision, and now the axle won't go through trees or rocks now, from what I did yesterday. So instead of, if you just want it normal, where your axles go through trees like normal, like everything else in Spintires, you can just get away with two boxes like this. Like I said, one for the axle, I just made the same as this one, but I just went higher key and centered object, and then centered that to the axle bone. But like I said yesterday, I found out something I've been trying to figure out. So what I did was, I'm going to hide this, I made a CDT matching the axle. So when it comes to rocks, it doesn't go through it anymore. But basically what this is for is so the springs and shocks and the control arms don't move off of the axle. I'm sorry if I'm getting way off the title or sub there. I'm trying to explain it best I could. Well, basically what you do, like I said, you make for your regular mod, you make it like a regular with the axle bone, and then you make another bone. You just copy this one, and again I just change the size so I can see where it's at. And say I got 20 and 10, and then 5 and 20, and then you link this one to. Oh wait, no. Let's see how the heck did I have that. Okay, you link the control arm bone to your chassis bone, and then you link the axle bone to the control arm bone. And you make one for the front and then one for the back. And then you create your CDTs. One for the control arm. I don't know if it needs to be up higher. I didn't experiment with that. I just went with what Bregel does. It could be the same. I don't know. And then you attach that to your control arm bone, and then you made one for your axle, a CDT, and then you attach that to your axle bone. So it looks like this. Your control arm, axle front, and the CDT attached to the axle frame, axle front CDT, and then the CDT to the control arm front CDT. Normally I would have bone in there, but I didn't put it because it was long. The only reason for the CDT at the end, that just means that it's a bone and there's a CDT attached to it. If you got other bones, you don't need that CDT. That's just I studied Pavel's work, and the only time the CDT is at the end is when there's a CDT attached to it. Just so you know that. Okay, so, going on after I confused you, sorry. Hopefully I didn't, and hopefully you can just look at what I did here and you're going to know what to do. How to set this up. First of all, the normal XML that everyone's been using, you can't use. I've tried it. You gotta do it this way. Again, I'll put this in the link. I'll give you this mod so you can see it. I don't know what's different about this setup. I mean, it's visibly different, the way the wheels are set up and stuff. But you can't do it the other way. It won't work. Unless someone knows how, I can't get it to work. You can tell us. So, in your physical model, you set up the same way. You got your bone chassis, as usual. And then you got your constraints for the control arm and for the axle. So you said this I took out of Bregel's oh, a Land Cruiser mod, a Land Crusher, I'm sorry, mod as well. Body collision, none. Mass 200. You want the mass at least 200 or more. I had this lower. It started wigging out, so you need a little weight on this. It can't be like 10 or even 100. 100 wasn't good. I think it started wigging out. I had to go back up to 2 or 3. I just put it back up to 500. That's what he had. The access constraints. I didn't change nothing. The access is on the Y, so the control arm bone goes up and down. And then the axle rides or is attached to the control arm, so that rides with the control arm bone, which I don't know how it does it or what makes it do it, but that's what helps or makes it so the bottom of the shocks don't have a gap or separate. Also, the way I don't have one. I don't have one open. Let me see. Oh, wait, let me do this. This is the way. Oh, is this the one? Yeah, this is the way it was set up before. Let's see what the heck was that. It's been a while. What am I looking for? Oh, took that. Oh man, it's been a while. Sorry. I'm looking for the. I think it's on the wheels, right? Yeah, right here. Hard point offset, steering angle, damping. Oh yeah, damping, the suspension minimum, and all this. This is all changed. It's up in here now, and you don't set that in here. You want suspension minimum. I didn't notice any difference when I changed that. He's got it like this. Suspension damping, I didn't notice any difference on that. I deleted that. I just put it back in the show. But suspension strength you want to 1, and I'll show you that when I'm in the game. And all the rest is a little different. I'll let you go through it again. I'll give it to you. But when you setting up the suspension, where I'm at, you set it up here and here, damping and spring for both. You change these now instead of changing like it was here before. This here, I already explained it, but just so you know, this is where you change your to get the your suspension softness and stiffness, whatever. Yeah, and then for here, for your min and max limits, you set them right here and right here. Again, I didn't tweak this much, just a little bit. I mostly mess with the damping and spring to see how soft and hard I can get it. I think that's it for there. Now, after this, you gotta export it. I've already done this, but I'm just gonna let me go with this one because this is gonna show up. Well, actually, I gotta do that because remember the ones that got the bones on it. Well, I can show you this too. Oh yeah, I should show you this too. Oh, I didn't get that. Oh dear, I don't have this linked properly. That's what I want to show you, the links. Bone shock, these got to be linked to the chassis bone. That's what I want to show you. This here is the way it's got to be linked. So the shock, let me not collapse all that. The shocks, the top bone ones, all, even the control arms and the the other control arms. This should be renamed something else probably, but this all needs to be attached to the bone chassis, And then these here, 1, 2, and 3 for each shock and control arm. 1, 2, and 3. And then the control arms with the axles and the CDTs. Axle linked to the control arm, and then a control arm linked to here. So you can see how that is. So you can see how the linking goes. And now you almost forgot to show you how to export this. So I can show you. I got a shortcut showed up. Setup, select all, or you can just go like this, select all, and I got a shortcut here. Export, select it. Because I got extra things in the scene, I do that. Or you go think here, export selected. Make sure you got your I use axe exporter, and then pick which one you want to export it to. Overwrite. And these are my these are my settings I got. I select material because it has different material channels on it in the mesh XML. Let me see where I'm at. See, chassis has 1 and 2. And that's when you have that. That's when you want the materials. I don't know if it's necessary when you don't. I just have that checked. And the bone, the mesh, the skin, of course. Other nodes. It's like I have. You don't really need that. That's for like when I do my gear shift. And duplicate names. You want this checked because of CDTs. So you have more than one CDT name. You want that checked. This here doesn't matter, and I don't change none of this. Only thing I change here is right-handed when I do wheels. You want to select right-handed for wheels. But basically this here is what you want. You don't need this for something like this, but just all this here for when you're exporting. I already exported, so I'm not going to do that. I'll also keep it on binary. You can keep it on text if you want, or compressed. I just use binary. I think that's it. I want to start up the game to show you what I was talking about before, about the ends of the control arms. Start a new game. 16. Lower this down. Oh, it's already down there. Well. Right here, if you can see my mouse, good enough. See right here where I had the 2 bones. Let me lower this down more if I can. Yeah, that's good because I'm over here. But where there's 2 bones, see this here? It didn't move. Where right here, you'll see where it turns a little bit. That's from the axle, flexing. See up here where there's 2 bones down here and 1 here. This is where it turns here, so it's not as noticeable down here as it is here. That's the reason why I said you might want to put the two bones over here instead of up here. See right there, that doesn't move. Same with the shocks. The shocks don't move up here, but they move down here. I mean that, you know, if you got to set up something like this, or so it won't look stupid. That'll work. I mean, even like I said, you can always change it around, put it however you want. And I wanted to show you this, the collision. When I'm up from taking off the collision, you can see the axle rides up on the ramp. So there's collision on the axle now. I'll switch over to a different game. Oops. Different map. Go here. I want to. Well, let me get out of that. We got out here. If you hit reload, you can see there's no problems. Before, excuse me, when I had collision here, when I was testing this, I had collision true. Save it, and then when I reloaded it, I'd get that on collision filter use. So I just tried to I just removed the collision from the axle, and you get no errors, and it works fine. And this is really cool. Like I said, now it knocks down trees and it gets stuck on rocks. See, it won't go through that rock now. Instead of before, it just went right through it. Like right now, it won't go through that tree. So that's a little more realism if that's what you like. So I was trying to figure out how to get that on the springs too, because sometimes you get up and it goes through the springs, but it'll go through the springs. I want to show you something else. What I was trying, which took a while for me to get these. Actually, let me go back on the map. Which took me a while to get this done. Sorry, I was doing a lot of testing and checking and stuff. Oh, dummy. Where's it at? I was trying to get. Oh, there's no. Darn it! I took the axle out. Let's see what's in the other one. No, it's not in that one either, is it? But yeah, it's in there. Good. I was trying to do this. I got a drive shaft made, and I wanted it to spin and show this, show the brake caliper, but I can't get the drive shafts to move. I mean to stay. If I can ever get that to work, I'll show you how to do that. If you need to know how to make a drive shaft, I can show you that. Freeman did a tutorial, but I couldn't get it to work the way he showed. I had to turn it on a different axis, but it can be done. But I was just thinking about this, because this is not linked. I'm wondering if we move this. I might have to edit this out. Let's see which one is this. Which one is this? I want this here. Let's just see something. Oh, I'm in the wrong one, darn it. I'll do that later. I'll test it out later and try it out. I got an idea that might work. But basically, that's it. Actually, let me show. Oops. I'll go to that one. That's with this here. With these here control arms, how they look. I want to show you. See that one move. You can hardly tell that they slide like a spring or a shock does. So this works real good. This is one with the collision on. See how it goes right through the ramp. Kind of unrealistic. I like the other one. I like this one here because it adds more realism to it. So, but it's up to you however you want to make your mods. Let me go back here. Let me see. I think I got everything. Hopefully I did. Let me see that. I told you about this. About the new XML, the way it needs to be formatted. Yeah, I think that's it. If you can think of anything else that I didn't cover, let me know. PM me or send me reply to this or whatever, and I'll let you know or try to help you out. Good luck and have fun as always. I forgot to show you guys something when I was telling you about the suspension strength here. And back here, how it used to be here, 0.01, where you send your stiffness at. I'll put it on the back tires for now. If you set it the way it was, and I'll just reload it. See how the axles ride on the bottom of the wheels? That's why you need it on one. And also the the hard point offset default, and the default Y and Z is set here. I'd imagine you can put them in here still. I think I tried it and it does work, but you just use the default for all of them unless you got different from front and back. You just use this now. And when you set your height for the wheel, it's a little funky. You gotta adjust it a little bit. It's not exact for some reason. I had to fit the numbers a little bit. I think that's it again. Hopefully I don't. Hopefully I got it all. Again, have fun. Good luck.